The woman who doesn't chase, yet never leaves his mind. There's a certain kind of woman every man meets only once, and no matter how many years pass, her presence never leaves him. Not because she begged to be remembered, but because she never tried. Some women don't chase, they don't convince, they don't compete. They simply walk away, quietly, gracefully, and in doing so, they leave a silence that screams. For weeks he tells himself she'll return. He waits for a message, a sign, an opening, but none comes. And slowly, that silence starts to echo, not outside him, but within. It pulls at something ancient, a place inside he didn't know existed until she stopped speaking to him. He tries to forget. He fills the void with noise, new faces, and endless distraction. But she lingers like smoke under his skin. Because she was never just a woman, she was a mirror. She mirrored the part of him that was still pure, the part that wanted to be seen without performance. She saw the man beneath the armor, and instead of staying to fix him, she left him to face himself. In Jungian terms, she awakened his shadow, the part he hides, even from himself. And once awakened, the shadow doesn't sleep again. It follows him into every room, into every new connection. Her absence becomes the stage, where he performs his own undoing. He wonders what went wrong. He replays her words, her eyes and her silence, again and again, until he realizes he's not remembering her. He's remembering himself as he was in her presence. Unguarded, alive, real. That's why he can't let go, because she reminded him of what authenticity felt like. And now without her the world feels pale. He tells his friends he's fine. He pretends he's moved on. But every woman he meets feels lighter, easier to impress, easier to forget. What he doesn't understand yet is that she didn't reject him. She reflected him, and reflection always burns. When a man isn't ready to see his truth, she, meanwhile, doesn't chase, not because she doesn't care, but because she's learned that energy given to confusion is energy stolen from peace. She has met her own darkness. She's faced the versions of herself that once begged, once explained, once tried to be enough. Now she knows better. Her stillness is her strength. Her silence is her weapon. When a woman reaches that place, her energy changes. She no longer vibrates in need. She vibrates in knowing. And that knowing becomes magnetic. Men feel it before she even speaks. It's in the way she carries herself, as if nothing outside her can define her worth. It's in the way she looks at you, not with hunger, but with understanding. And that understanding is terrifying, because it feels like she can see straight into your soul, and she's not impressed. She doesn't chase because she doesn't have to. Her value doesn't depend on pursuit. It radiates from her presence. When she walks away, she takes nothing that belongs to him. She only removes the illusion that he was the center of her world. And that realization dismantles his ego more completely than rejection ever could. He starts to dream about her. At first, the dreams are vivid, her voice, her scent, her laughter. But gradually they shift. He begins seeing himself through her eyes, seeing the man she saw, not the one he pretended to be. That's when something changes. The longing becomes reflection. The obsession becomes a question. Who was I when I felt safe enough to be that open? He starts to read again, to think, to sit in silence. For the first time, he doesn't run from loneliness. He listens to it, and somewhere in that stillness, he begins to grow. She, on the other hand, has already grown. Her silence wasn't a punishment. It was a boundary. She protects her energy, the way others protect their secrets. She knows her power. She knows that the stiller she becomes, the louder the world listens. Jung spoke of individuation, the process of becoming whole by uniting opposites. She's done that. She's integrated her feminine chaos with her masculine clarity. She no longer swings between extremes. She simply is. That's why her energy feels like gravity. She's not chasing anyone, but everything finds its way toward her. Because wholeness is the rarest vibration on earth. and we are all drawn to what completes us. Months pass. He meets others. He laughs, he lives, but the ghost of her presence hovers at the edges of his awareness. Not haunting, guiding. Every time he tries to fall back into his old patterns, he remembers the silence she left him with. And that silence demands growth. He begins to work on himself, not to win her back, but to understand why he ever needed someone like her, to wake him up. And in that realization he finds peace. He no longer hates her for leaving. He thanks her for showing him what love without possession looks like. Because the woman who doesn't chase isn't testing a man, she's teaching him. Teaching him that connection isn't control and presence isn't ownership. Teaching him that love without self-awareness is just a dependency on wearing perfume. She teaches by leaving. She heals by walking away. Her absence does the work. Her words never could. And someday, years later, he'll see her again. Maybe across a crowded room, or in a dream, or in the face of another woman who reminds him of her energy. He'll feel that same pull, but this time he won't chase it. He'll smile quietly, because he finally understands. She wasn't the one that got away. She was the one that showed the way. The woman who doesn't chase isn't cold. She isn't cruel. She is complete. She no longer begs to be chosen, because she has already chosen herself. Her silence is not emptiness, it's evolution, and that is why she never leaves his mind. Because deep down he knows he met something divine, something real, something free. The woman who walks away in silence isn't weak. She simply sees more,